Nation of Fit in 10, welcome to day 61, and we are in the single digits in terms of days left. And a reminder that every day counts, every single day. You've got to stay engaged and as focused as possible and work on putting one block in every single day, right? Checking off those check boxes, putting everything in, sprinting past the finish line, and seeing how well you do at the end, because the end is near. Okay, another feedback here. So let's get into it. This person writes, this is under name something specific you can improve on the following week. I can work on getting in all of my cardio and my strength training. All right, so I'm assuming you're missing some of it. I guess I could look here. Wow, you only got one resistance-based training in last week. Okay, yes, definitely we can improve upon that. Absolutely. And 2 cardios. Okay, so in total you got basically half of what you're supposed to get in. So come on, let's get in. You've got to program this in, okay? Unless you are sick. Unless you are sick or you have some major extending circumstance, there's no reason why you should not be getting in your 3 cardios and your 3 weights. As I mentioned, that is less than 3% of the total time you have in the week. Okay, so we got to prioritize, schedule it. Name something specific you need help with. Is there a difference in healthiness when I fry versus bake chicken in half a tablespoon of olive oil? Well, olive oil's got a high smoke point, so it's not going to go bad if you heat it up. Okay, I mean, I imagine you could heat it to a certain point, but for the sake of what you would cook food at, it's not going to affect the oil negatively. It's not going to denature it, or not denature it. What's the word I'm looking for? It's not going to make it rancid. And now, was one better than the other? If you fry, there's a chance perhaps that you might get charring. And charring is supposed to be carcinogenic. So I suppose you could char with baking, but I think there's less chance. So that would be the only thing I could think of. Is there anything you would like me to cover in this week's video series? A trainer once told me that doing high reps, low weight is not as good as low reps, higher weight workouts. What is the difference? What is the main difference here? All right, well, it just depends on really what you consider good as. I mean, if we were talking about building strength, then certainly this trainer is correct. But, you know, if we're talking about muscular endurance, it depends on how heavy we're talking here, how low of reps. And when we're talking high reps, how high of reps? You know, the high reps have their place for muscle hypertrophy. I mean, certainly high reps have their place for muscular endurance. So it depends on what our goals are, really. Okay. Now, I understand maybe what they may have been trying to get at is that, you know, very, very light weights, okay, is not going to really do a whole lot in terms of muscular hypertrophy. We're talking very light, like weights you could do 30, 40, 50, 100 reps with. They're not really going to do anything for strength or muscle hypertrophy. You're not really going to see a lot of results with that. So maybe that's what they were referring to. But if we're talking about lifting weights that, let's consider high reps between, let's say maybe around 15 to 30, you're still going to get some benefit out of that. Maybe not so much strength, but definitely hypertrophy. Still can get great hypertrophy from that. Okay, muscle growth, muscle stimulation, muscular endurance. But certainly you need the heavier weight to build muscular strength, in particular muscular strength. All right, so that's basically the main difference. Heavy weights, when we really want to build strength, we want to work in that, you know, essentially 1 to 5 reps. That is your failing in 1 to 5 reps. That's very, very heavy. Okay, and just a side note here that, I get this a lot. Personal training clients, people in the gym, they'll say something like they lift a heavy weight, let's say, like let's just for example, say they do a squat for 8 reps and it's an 8 rep max and they rack it and they're out of breath. They're like, well, I just did 8 reps and I'm out of breath. I really need to work on my cardio. If I work on my cardio, that's not going to happen. No, that's always going to happen. It doesn't matter whether you're the quote fittest person in the world. What's happening here is you're using a different energy system. You're using the anaerobic energy system. And as a result of demanding a lot of force per unit of time, when you're going that heavy, you have to produce a lot of force right away. This is anaerobic. This is not aerobic in terms of energy systems. This is anaerobic the body's using, and as a result, the body produces lactic acid, and this is essentially oxygen debt. And the only way to get rid of that lactic acid is by getting more oxygen back in the system. And of course, that will play its role in terms of mitigating or not mitigating, but neutralizing, I guess you could say, it's not really lactic acid, it's more of the hydrogen ion, and it doesn't matter. The lactate, the lactic acid, the hydrogen ions, whatever. It's going to help neutralize those and it's going to allow you to recover. But that's where that heavy breathing afterwards, that's what's happening. The body's going through oxygen debt. All right. And that's going to happen. It doesn't matter who you are, how fit you are, when you're pushing the limits in terms of maximal force production in a very short period of time. Okay. Or producing a lot of force. Okay. I thought I just mentioned that because it's something that comes up all the time. Any tips for staying on track well on a 3-week vacation in Mexico? Definitely going to get a lot of steps in every day. But I'm unsure how to get strength sessions in because hostels don't usually have gyms or workout equipment. Okay, so when I look at something like this right off the bat, I'd say just go on your vacation. Just go on your vacation, enjoy yourself. But it wouldn't hurt if I'm assuming you're moving around. It sounds like you're not just staying in one hostel for 3 weeks. I'm assuming you're traveling about. Either way, you could always stop in at a gym. There's gyms all over Mexico. So you could pop into a gym and you could do a workout. Okay, you could do one of our workouts that we've sent out. The ones that we send out that have the videos. So you could do a workout like that, no problem. Now in terms of food, that might be a little more difficult, but for me, if I were in your situation, I would be eating primarily from grocery stores, which is last time I went to Mexico, which was some time ago. That's exactly what I did. I went to a gym that was nearby. Mind you, I was staying in a hotel. Went to a gym that was nearby, and I would go to the grocery store what seemed to be almost every day. Made the mistake one time of buying tuna in oil. Everything's in Spanish, and so I just didn't quite see that on the label. Listen, where there's a will, there's a way. Okay? But if you want to go and you just purely want to enjoy your vacation and you really want to put all your time into getting, around and enjoying yourself, then, there's nothing wrong with that. Just get back on track when you get back into town. Okay? But as I mentioned, there's no reason why you can't hit a gym there if you wanted to and get do a drop in and get a workout in. Even if it's just like a workout or 2 per week, two would be great for just maintaining. Or even 1, just doing all the major movements, a flat press, an overhead press, a squat, a deadlift, maybe a row, maybe a pull down, 6 movements. Okay. All right. Message of the day on this day 61. Day 61 is so crazy. It goes like this. It's never too late to become what you might have been. It's never too late to become what you might have been. I think a lot of times people go through life and think, yeah, it's if I were only younger, then I could maybe accomplish such a thing or such a whatever it is, which may be the case for some things. But for most things, I think better late than never, right? And certainly when it comes to your health, especially as you get older, ladies, when we're talking about preventing osteoporosis, the earlier you start training, the better off you're going to be, but never too late, again, to help to work towards maintaining that bone density. It's never too late to start going. Hopefully I can get my mom into this. My mom's 75, and she's sort of off and on. But it's never too late to start to become what you might otherwise believe that you could only achieve if you were younger, right? It's never too late. It is never too late. Tomorrow's a new day. Let's go. 9 days. Positive energy, positive vibes. Believe in yourself, and for the love of God, give some gratitude, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.